Do as I say, not as I do. Put your phones on speaker. Oh, shoot. I left one of my phones outside. All right. I don't have a countdown, so let's say I'm going to count about 30 seconds in my head. I'll give you a small tap. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Orange County School Board's Rules Development Workshop for this Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. The Rule Development Workshop has been scheduled today for the purpose of discussing proposed revisions to the following policies: School Board Policy EBB, Accident Prevention and Safety Program, Policy GCQF, Suspension and Dismissal of Professional Staff, and Policy GDQD, Suspension and Dismissal of Support Staff. During this Rule Development Workshop, the School Board welcomes public comments on the proposed revisions to the previously mentioned policies. But because there's no regularly scheduled school board meeting, there'll be no non-agenda period for public input. So again, if you wish to comment on the policies before us today, we look forward to hearing from you. And thank you so much for joining us. Several board members are attending in person. We do have a in-person quorum. Members not attending in person but participating are members Gallo, Vice Chair, who I just acknowledged before the meeting started, so I know she's with us, but let me go ahead and call on her anyway. Vice Chair?
I don't have my phone.
That's all right. Aye? I'll take that as an aye.
Aye, yes, sorry.
Thank you. That's all right. Member Felder?
Aye.
Thank you. And Member Castrodental is not joining us today. As a reminder, board members will not be engaging in outside electronic or digital communication during the meeting so that we can focus on the matters before us. And to my fellow board members and district staff, members of the public, when speaking, please make sure your microphone is turned on and speak directly into it so our YouTube and Orange TV viewers can hear you clearly. All right, let's begin with a moment of silence, and then I'll invite you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And now for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Dr. Vasquez, I will turn the meeting over to you.
10:12 a.m.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you are aware, we have reviewed these policies previously. We are here now giving the public an opportunity and the board a final look at the policies and any revisions prior to us moving to our board meeting. Our first one is School Board Policy EBB, Accident Prevention and Safety Program. Our presenters will be Chief Holmes from our District Police and Kashara Cowan, Staff Attorney.
Good morning, Chair Jacobs, school board members, Dr. Vasquez. We are here today to present 3 policies for you at Rule Development Workshop. I'd like to go over the agenda for today. We have our tentative schedule, our summary of actions. We will review the proposed revisions, discuss next steps, and there will be time for questions and discussion. Our tentative schedule, we presented these policies to Cabinet on July 22nd. We had a work session last week on August 13th. We are here today for Rule Development Workshop, and we have set these policies for board approval at the next school board meeting on August 27th, and they will become effective upon approval. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Chief Holmes to review the changes to EBB Accident Prevention and Safety Program.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Dr. Vasquez, Board. This is EBB Accident Prevention and Safety Program. It is a revision of the policy. So the purpose is proposed revisions to policy EBB include language to comply with statutory changes and updates required by the State Board of Education through the Florida Administrative Code. Additional proposed revisions to the existing policy language include edits to content, formatting, and terminology consistent with statutory language. This was only last week. We don't have to go through every one of these. We do have a change that we need to bring to your attention, and it's actually in the very beginning under the section titled School Safety Specialist, and you can see the change in red. I'll go ahead and read that entire paragraph all the way up to the change in the event you have any feedback on that. So the superintendent shall designate a school safety specialist for the district. The school safety specialist must be a school administrator employed by the school district or a law enforcement officer employed by the sheriff's office located in the school district. It is the school board's intent for the school safety specialist to be prior law enforcement experience, or an OCPS administrator with prior law enforcement experience assigned to the district police. This function must be performed by an OCPS employee and cannot be assigned to an outside vendor. So we added that, and we're trying to thread the needle on what the board's desire is and moving forward into the future for that particular position.
All right. I'll go ahead and take input from board members. Any concern with that language or input? All right. We're comfortable with that?
Okay, all the other changes are what we went over last week. If you would like me to discuss any of them or move to that.
No concerns, no comments, so we're comfortable with where we are.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next two policies are related and are a result of new legislation at the state level regarding safety and security, specifically the consequences if there are violations to that, including the locking of doors and gates, both interior and exterior. So I am going to turn it over to both Kashara and Chief Holmes to be able to talk to the board about policy GCQF, suspension and dismissal of professional staff, and policy GDQD, suspension and dismissal of support staff.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Vasquez. First up, we will review the changes to GCQF, suspension and dismissal of professional staff. And as Dr. Vasquez mentioned, House Bill 1473 made some changes with regard to our school safety access requirements. And within those changes, they added language to Section 1607 Florida statutes that requires school boards to adopt a progressive discipline policy for administrative and instructional staff who violate the campus access and control requirements. And so what we have before you today with GCQF are our proposed revisions to comply with the new language added to Section 1607. I did review this language last week in our work session. I have not made any changes to the language since that time. If it's the board's pleasure, I can review it again, or if you all are okay, I don't have to review the language.
Let me recognize first General Counsel Palmerini.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make you aware that we do have a speaker to this policy.
Okay, thank you. All right. Board members are comfortable, we'll hear from the speaker first. And who is our speaker?
Your speaker is Clinton McCracken.
Good. Welcome, Mr. McCracken.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I had just a couple of things I wanted to share. I know that I sent you all also like a list of a lot of the concerns and the questions that we've received from teachers regarding this. And I know some of those questions will be or in the process of being answered, so thank you for that. But in addition to that, one of the things that I would request is that we're just really careful about whatever guidance we're sending out to administrators to make sure that we're acknowledging how difficult this is. It's new, it's moving pretty fast for teachers. Of course, teachers want safe schools for our students and for each other. But there are just a lot of unanswered questions out there. For example, unanswered questions that's causing a lot of anxiety and concern. For example, I just got a teacher yesterday shared that she was fussed at her school because her door was unlocked. She doesn't have a key to her classroom. So there are other things that we, like I said, have sent in. What happens if someone with a master key comes into a classroom or to another area, and when they open the door, they accidentally unlock it? The teacher might have locked that themselves, and so there's some anxiety about that you could be getting in trouble for things that maybe are not even your fault. Some other concerns, itinerant staff, are they going to be able to have keys to get into where they need to get into? Will it affect their work if they're having to wait to get into places? Who all has master keys? I know that was in the list of things that I had shared with you. And so that's the biggest question today is, can we make sure that the guidance that's given to administrators is very carefully done and that teachers are considered when we're implementing all of this, including with the progressive discipline. And we will, of course, continue to gather questions. I'll send them to you all as we get them. And we need to make sure that we find a path at each school where we're all working together for safety and also being fair and understanding. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. McCracken. Let me comment. I appreciate you sending that to all of us. I think in my own mind there were a few things I thought of, but there were certainly a lot of things that your teachers identified that wouldn't have occurred to me, and I'm quite certain that they didn't occur to the state when they passed this. If those of us, sitting on this board much closer wouldn't have anticipated all of them. One of the questions that I have, and I think we're getting information from other districts, it's not a question for you, but it's a question about whether or not when the state referred to all doors being locked, but then they had the, unless there's other safety measures in place, Mr. Palmerino, clarify what that language was exactly, but I still wonder how many school districts don't have the safety mechanisms that we have, the sally ports and other things. And if the state was looking at an older school that wasn't modified with the exterior safety measures and everything, that maybe the state was thinking of those as opposed to what we have, and maybe those other safety measures are some of the things that we have in place. Mr. Palmerini, I see you looking down at me.
I just want to be very careful about what we discuss here in an open meeting.
Thank you.
And not to be,
Yes.
obviously, whatever safety measures we have, I don't want the general public being aware of them because that will allow somebody who could utilize that knowledge in a way we don't want. So
right,
I want to
thank
be
you.
very general when we discuss this.
Yes, thank you for that. I guess we need a mic, whatever you call it, where I can silence, you can silence me. But thank you very much for that, Mr. Palmerini. Member Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Mr. McCracken, for sharing your concerns. And I just wanted to encourage you to continue to share those concerns with us, and as well as your state union association, because I know that this legislative session, there will be a lot of advocating for some tweaks and some clarification in this law. I had conversations Friday with our school board association, and as many actual clear examples you can give us about the difficulties that parts of this bill have on our classroom teachers is helpful for them. So I would definitely encourage you to keep track of all those emails you get and share them with as many people as you can, so we can hopefully get, a few things adjusted. I think the intent is good, of course, as you said. We all want the safest schools possible, but I also think that there's a lot of logistic things that, as the chair said, that the state didn't realize possibly. So, I want you to know that we're advocating for that, or I know I am, and so I think that your help with that will help too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, and we have no other board members wishing to be recognized. I just do want to close out on, you touched on this, but for anybody who might be watching, there's nobody in the district that wants our schools to be safe more than our teachers. So any concerns that you raise about operationally what does work and how it works should always be taken by the public and the state as concerns for the welfare and safety of our students and all of our team. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Mr. Palmerini.
I'm sorry, I didn't look down at my phone. Member Felder would like to be recognized.
Thank you so much. Member Felder, you're recognized.
The information that thank you. I appreciate the information that Clinton shared with us. But I'm just remembering as a teacher, I used to always keep my doors locked, even before it was like mandated. And this is some years ago, administrators, would come and unlock the doors and keep the door unlocked. But we're on a different type of ruling now, so thank God for that. But I think we're such a big district, and I believe we're a very considerate district. And I just think if each school and area would just try to maintain their policy in terms of, sometimes an administrator has to come in a room very, very quickly, and they may forget to lock the door back. And I know teachers have a lot on their mind, but whenever that happened to me, I would immediately go and lock the door back. But I'm just saying, we always want our teachers to feel safe, and sometimes things happen when they have to get in the classroom quickly and they may not remember to lock the door back. But I'm glad that this is something that we are considering and making sure that teachers understand, as Board Member Byrd said, that we are definitely in support of their safety. We're living in a different kind of world now, a very different world. So I'm glad that was brought up, and I believe that we will be diligent in that pursuit. I have no doubt that we will do what's necessary to make sure that our teachers and our children are safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Member Felder. Member Ferrant, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree. I think I would encourage each of us to be reaching out to our anybody we know as a representatives in Tallahassee. I know I've been in contact with different representatives in the Department of Education, just trying to figure out, well, first of all, I was double checking, making sure that we weren't being overly conservative with the way we were reviewing this and reading it. But it is very frustrating because they weren't really taking into consideration the different dynamics and layouts of our schools. An elementary school or middle school maybe is more that's easier to just, I won't get into too many details. But as we get into different layouts and the way it is, it's I feel like this is almost being overly redundantly cautious. You know what I'm saying? We're getting too much. But I would definitely say we all need to work to advocate for just some tweaking. As Member Byrd said, it's I think all of us want to make sure that we've safe schools, and we've done an incredible job, I think, already in Orange County. When I've looked around at different places, even here in Florida, different school districts, we're doing an exceptional job of safety here in Orange County, with from our police to even our teachers, making sure that they know what our procedures are for keeping kids safe. But this in particular, I think for sure, it's not just here, not just us that we're frustrated with it, but all over the state of Florida, every school district is kind of shook up on some of these the new changes. And so I hope that with all of our voices, they will hear us and make those good changes. I'm just frustrated that it's an election year, and so they won't go into session until March. So probably something we'll deal with all year. But I just want to give a shout out to all our administrators, teachers, our district police, everyone who has been really been creative and working together to find a solution, hopefully temporary, until we can get some changes to the law to bring it back to some sane ideas here. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Ferrant. And as I'm sure you're aware, looking at other districts and seeing how far ahead we are in terms of safety compared to many of them is directly related to the funding that we also receive from the citizens of Orange County, who have had confidence in Orange County Public Schools and have allowed us the ability to make major renovations to our schools, which incorporated safety measures that would otherwise not be there. So just a reminder that the sales tax that's coming up in November is crucial to maintaining not just our facilities, but our safety. Mr. Palmerini, you're recognized. No, you're not recognized. Okay, Superintendent, you're recognized. Somebody's recognized.
Next policy.
So we have no further comments from board members.
All right. You can proceed with the next policy, which deals with the support staff.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, so the next policy is GDQD, suspension and dismissal of support staff. We have utilized the same language that was in GCQF, but I will note, I know I pointed it out last week, but I'll reiterate it again. The law 1607 refers to administrative and instructional staff. However, we are making these changes with regard to our support staff to ensure consistency, in which the way that we handle these policies. So.
All right, thank you. Any comments from board members? All right. No comments? Board is comfortable? All right.
That's it.
All right. Any further comments from board members? All right. Dr. Vasquez, I think that's all the business we have before the board at this meeting. Am I correct? All right. In record time, the meeting is now adjourned.
Nice.
Boom.
Yes? Oh. All right. Yeah. All right. Mr. McCracken.